Mario Kart is known for having turns, but what happens if you ignore the turns entirely and don't steer for the whole track? How many tracks could you complete without turning in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? So let's explain the rules. Mushrooms will be allowed, and bumping into walls will also be allowed. Hopping will help me a lot because it will speed up my turning when I hit a wall. I will also only mention the tracks that were very hard or very interesting to complete. So with that said, let's get into it. The first track that I tried was Mario Kart Stadium. I started off strong until the first turn. I then hopped and surprisingly realigned myself with the track. I then hopped around this turn and got to the wall here. As I was heading for it, I thought I would get stuck, but somehow I made it past. I did some more precise hopping and made it to here, where I fell off, and luckily Lakitu put me right where I needed to be. I completed the glider section and made it past, finishing Mario Kart Stadium without turning. The next track was Water Park. This track seemed easy, but when I got to the loop, it was very slow. I still made it the whole way around. I did some more hopping and reached a glider and completed Water Park. I thought that Thwomp Ruins would be impossible because of all the sharp turns. I made it to this section, but when I hit this wall, I got stuck in the corner, making this track impossible. Toad Harbor was impossible due to this corner with the barrel. And for Twisted Mansion, I thought that I would hit this center bit and get stuck. But for some reason, I was slightly on the left of it and didn't get stuck. This is either because it is not centered in the middle of the track, or because my controller is broken. Anyway, I still continued and got stuck against this wall. The next interesting track was Dolphin Shoals. It started off easy until I got to this pipe section. I fell off continuously, but luckily Lakitu took me past the whole thing. The rest was easy, except at this turn I couldn't stop falling off. Regardless, I finished Dolphin Shoals without turning. I thought that there were no problems with Electrodrome and that it would be possible, until I got to this massive sharp turn. But sadly the turn was too sharp and I got stuck, making this track impossible. I was doubtful in Mount Wario. There was a lot of falling off and bumping the wall. I passed this massive sharp turn and somehow completed lap 1. Lap 2 was easily the hardest lap of the whole challenge so far. I got past the cave section with no problem, but then I fell off at the end here. I didn't think much of it until Lakitu picked me up and aligned me perfectly straight. Now there was no turning back from here. Get it? Because I can't turn? So I continued straight. Because I was going so straight, I hit this wall perfectly that I couldn't bounce off to realign myself. So I was stuck there, making Mount Wario impossible. Rainbow Road was full of split paths that I knew would be really hard. But could I even get there? Straight away, I fell off. Get it? Because I am on a straightaway, I have to stop. Anyway, I got picked up by Lakitu and put back onto the track. I did a lot of falling off at this section, but still made it past with Lakitu. I then did some hops and made it to here. I thought everything was fine until I realized that I couldn't move. I did some thinking and realized that reversing is technically not steering. So I drove my kart backwards onto the green path and let it push me so I was aligned again. This was possibly the most smart move I have ever made in Mario Kart. Not saying that I've made many.
What? Oh, I thought you could do one of those Kasane hop things. What is happening?
Bruh.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Animal Crossing is so colourful, which is a problem, because red is a colour.
At least I can take this shortcut, though. Or can I? Oh.
but I still made it past this section, completing Rainbow Road. Dragon Driftway had many sharp turns, so I thought it would be impossible. I started off with some sharp turns, but they were completable. I then got stuck against this wall and thought it was over, until I thought of reversing so far into the void and then getting picked up by Lakitu and realigned. And surprisingly, it worked. I did the same thing here and completed Dragon Driftway. I thought Baby Park would be possible, and obviously I was right. So far the tracks were pretty easy. You can nearly say that I have got straight A's. Get it? I seriously need to stop. But next up was Cheeseland. This wall at the start was a bit too short for me to use it to turn, so I ended up going onto the off-road and hitting this wall. I got stuck, making Cheeseland impossible. DK Jungle started off pretty straightforward. Get it? I fell off a few times and made it into the temple. I ran into this corner and thought I would get stuck, but because it was on a slope, when I hopped I was slowly moving downwards. I continued and made it to the glider section. I fell off afterwards, but other than that this course was completable. Yoshi Valley was a wild track with different paths all over the place, and I didn't know which one I was going to end up on. I started off hitting this arrow and thought I would get stuck, but slowly hopped my way to the right path. The walls aligned me so that I would go through the cave section, and I was not happy about that. The cave section is one full 360 sharp turn that I would have to go around. It turned out to actually be easy, but when I came out of the cave, I was heading right for this corner. Somehow I didn't get stuck, and after lots of hopping, I finished Yoshi Valley without turning. Hyrule Circuit is a very technical track with many turns. It started off easy until I got stuck against this wall and couldn't move, making it impossible. Super Bell Subway was another very technical track, and sadly, that was the reason I got stuck right at the start. And the last track in the base game was Big Blue, and this one was full of turns. The first turn was pretty easy until I got to the end of the first turn. I hit the wall and thought that this track would be impossible, but until I reversed. I got Lakitu to pick me up and he aligned me straight with the track. The rest of lap 1 was simple, but now it was time for the curvy lap 2. Surprisingly, there were no barriers and I completed it with ease, and the same goes for lap 3, making Big Blue possible. The booster course pass is up next, and the first track I tried was Coconut Mall. When I started this track, I looked straight ahead and saw a wall right in front of me, and sadly, it stopped me from continuing, and I got stuck. Ninja Hideaway had many extremely sharp turns, but before I could even get there, I got stuck against this wall, making Ninja Hideaway impossible. Waluigi Pinball had a cannon glider to start off the track, and I made my way past the first few turns. But then I hit this wall and couldn't find a way past it, making Waluigi Pinball impossible. Mushroom Gorge has many turns. When I got to this rock wall section, everything seemed fine, until I got stuck on this rock. I did some more precise hopping and ended up making it past. When I got to the mushroom section, I fell off many times, but still cleared that section. I then attempted to take the gap jump, but miserably failed. Regardless, I still completed Mushroom Gorge without steering. The next track that I thought to attempt was Maple Treeway, because of how tight the track is. I made it past the first section fine and got past the cannon glider, but the next section was full of sharp turns and bends. I fell off this section and made it past, but Lakitu lined me up straight for this wall, and sadly I got stuck against it. But then I had the genius idea to reverse and get the wriggler to push me where I needed to go. And guess what? It worked. Although it took nearly 4 minutes to get the wriggler to push me into the right place. And did I realize that when the timer gets to 10 minutes, the race ends? So I had to finish Maple Treeway fast. I did some hopping around this section and took the half pipe. And from then on, it was easy and I completed Maple Treeway. thanks to Wriggler. Merry Mountain started off slow, but I was hopeful. I managed to make it past the starting turn and then fell off many times here. The halfpipe saved the day by turning me around, but it didn't line me up very well and I was heading for this rock. I then bounced off the rock and got realigned for a straight path to victory. Get it? Because I have to go straight? I really have to stop. Anyway, I completed Merry Mountain without turning. DK Mountain started me off heading straight into a wall, but I hopped at the perfect time and did a complete turn to align me straight for the cannon glider. The half pipes really helped speed me up when going around the turns. But next up were these two really big turns. I made it past the first one with this half pipe, but then fell down here before the second. Lakitu grabbed me and put me right back on track here. I took the half pipes to the turns and sped my way across the finish line using the half pipe, completing DK Summit. Waluigi Stadium started off pretty easy, but I was expecting it to get much harder. Luckily, it stayed simple the whole way and I finished Waluigi Stadium without steering. The next track I attempted to complete without steering was Cooper Cape, and looking at the mini-map, it has one really big sharp turn. This half pipe helped me get around the turn fast and easily. I then decided just to ride the water stream all the way down until I got to the underwater section, but it turned out that there was actually just a half pipe there, meaning that Cooper Cape was possible. DK Mountain was next. The rocks at the start were pretty bumpy and I made it past and got to the cannon glider. Now for the descent downward, and surprisingly the rest of the track was pretty easy until I hit this wall and ended up turning around backwards. I then fell into this pit and got taken by Lakitu, and luckily he lined me up perfectly, so I completed DK Mountain. Can we get a "We love Lakitu" in the comments? And the last track on my list is Wee Rainbow Road. And surprisingly, all of this track was easy, and I completed it without any problems. That is the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe because I worked so hard on this video. Make sure to comment below how many tracks you found to be possible. And with that said, see ya!